Hey guys, welcome to 848 Resistance, and what we're talking about is specifically Elements 18 in the life book of Dr. Andersen's Habits of Health. And there's going to be a presentation that's going to follow this that's going to talk about the science and the research behind it and why we do it this way. But the biggest thing to remember is the reason why is we want to use lighter weight under controlled tension and tempo so that we can keep the momentum down and keep the safety levels extremely high, but also have the effectiveness of time under tension for fiber recruitment, neurological conditioning so that we can learn the movements, and then that will allow us to get stronger and we'll be able to develop and move on to other progressive style of exercise. Okay, so that's the main goal. However, what we've already experienced in our practice round was that this is extremely challenging if you haven't done the 848 count before, because most of us have been conditioned for a 2-1-2 or a 1-to-1-to-1 type of exercise program. That's what's traditionally seen in health clubs. That's kind of the way it's always been, but there's specific reasons. Now, for those of you who are trained in things like National Academy of Sports Medicine or sports medicine in general, you know that time and tempo is something that we play with to make sure nobody goes into a plateau. And it's a great way of mixing up your routine. So for people who have always exercised or exercised for sport, and now you're maybe limited by the amount of weight that you have available because you're at home, the 848 could be a perfect way of increasing your intensity, changing up your routine, and giving you an extra challenge. Other than the time under tension and how hard it is, the biggest challenge is going to be counting and keeping yourself kind of calm while you're going through the 848. Is the 848 the most important objective? No. The most important objective is that the muscles are doing what they need to do under a slow, controlled tempo. So don't get too over concerned about an 848 being like an absolute. Could it be a 7-3-6 because that's just the way it turned out? Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and start out with a bent over row. And we're going to do about 4 or 5 of these just so you can see what the tempo looks like. And when I say 4 or 5 of these, the normal reps would be 5 reps, okay? And then there's 6 different ways that you can kind of boost your workout. That will be also in the presentation. We'll talk about that later. But what I meant by that is we're going to go through several of the exercises that you saw on the resistance training program, upper and lower, just to show you what that tempo looks like. And then you'll be able to kind of cross that over into any exercise that you do. So the first one is going to be a bent over row. And we're going to rest the hips on the thighs. The back is going to stay in a nice straight position. And as she's leaning into that leverage, we're going to come on up for 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to flex on top for 4 and then take it back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kinsey's going to keep going and she's going to count for herself, and I'm going to explain the lockout. I'm not concerned about lockout in this position because gravity is pulling the resistance away, which means that if she were to flex and hold this, she's still doing work and there's still time under tension. The lockout on this one would be down here, and this is where the pause and the rest would be. So if we can eliminate that pause and rest on the bottom and keep constant time under tension for those 8 seconds up, and then flex for 4, take it back down. When we talk about our chest press, when we get into our chest press, I'll show you where that lockout really matters and hopefully make a point on why we want to keep it out of your workout for most effectiveness. All right, go ahead and rest. All right, next movement is the squat. Okay, so we're going to keep all that resistance and weight underneath our heels as we sit on back down into that squat position. So we're going to go 8 seconds. Actually, we're going to start on the bottom. We're going to count up because the lockout is on top. So go ahead and bring it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to flex, but we're not going to rest the hips in the straight line, but flexing the glutes. And then go ahead and bring it on down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex and take it back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Up. Now the range of motion might be different for everybody. You might be able to get a 45-degree squat in, whatever feels comfortable for you, but the range of motion that we are looking for, let's go ahead and do one more from the side, is breaking the 90-degree plane if we can. That position right there, okay? A good squat, and then bring it back up. The second one is going to be the front squat, where we're going to take the dumbbells and we're going to place them on your shoulders, just touching your shoulders. They don't have to necessarily be on your shoulders. In fact, I'd prefer that they were not. And this is going to put you in a front squat position as Kinsey drops on down to that 8-second squat. Good. Bring it back up. Now there's all kinds of things. I'm going to have you turn to the side. There's all kinds of things that are happening here in having to control the core while she goes down in this position, because if the lats are tight, if there's other imbalances going on, it's going to be pretty hard to do it in this position. But because we have to challenge the core, it's very effective for additional core training. So go ahead and let's get 2 more reps here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, and back up. And bring it back down again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, and up. All right. So that's the hard part. That's always the hard part. Okay, last one is if you want to use one dumbbell, maybe you have a heavier dumbbell, or maybe these 2 dumbbells together are more challenging. We can hang on to the dumbbell just like this and go into our squat position. And that keeps everything nice and tight against your rib cage. And Kinsey's going to come on down for that squat using that nice slow count. Now remember, the 8-4-8 is something to give you reference to. What we're really talking about is slow, controlled movements without momentum. That's the number one thing to take out of this. That's why we do the 8-4-8. The numbers are not necessarily magical. The time under tension is what's magical. So if you're having a hard time, this goes back to what we always talk about with breathing, because people in the beginning of resistance training, they want to know, do I breathe in? Do I breathe out? When do I? That kind of thing. The most important thing is to just breathe. All right, we're going to go right into the deadlift from here. So the deadlift is going to be from the side. All right, lockout position on this one is on top, so we have to make sure that we don't lock out and rest on top, but that we're actually squeezing and flexing the hamstrings and the glutes. So come on up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be a flex in the hamstrings and glutes for 4, and then bring it back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex, but not resting. Take it back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and rest. Okay, good. There's a lot of nervous system stuff going on. So there's a lot of stuff going on that, especially when you're counting, that we can kind of work through that quickly on a 1-to-1 count without the nervous system getting overly taxed. But in this case, there's so much stuff going on neurologically at the same time, which is great for really training you to get you in the best condition neurologically and muscularly to move you into a progressive exercise program. Okay, next is our bicep curl. Okay, we're going to go bicep curl here. We'll do 2 from the front and then 2 from the side. So we're going to talk about the bicep curl here, and it's going to be 4 seconds up. The areas we want to be careful of now is the wrist motion, because that would be a forearm exercise if there's too much motion going on in the wrist. And then, of course, if the arms come off the side, that's going to be shoulders. So what we want to do is make sure we pin our armpits together, and we're going to go ahead and come on up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but not lockout and not resting under gravity. It's a flex for 4, and she takes it back down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn to the side. Take it up. Number 3, as I'm holding number 2. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex and back down. All the tension's right here in the bicep now. Take it back up. Last one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex. 3, 2, 1. Down. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And good. Okay. Good. All right, last one we'll go over will be the chest prep. Kinsey's going to safely bring herself down with the dumbbells if possible. It's actually safer in that position than to grab them from the side. We're going to go into a horizontal adduction, so her arms are going to come out into this motion just like you would on a bench press or on a machine. And she's going to bring it up for 8 seconds. Go ahead. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's talk lockout real quick. Okay, lockout is if she rested in this position under the gravity and under the joints and under the bones, and this is what Dr. Andersen refers to as a lockout in Habits of Health. She can rest in this position for a very long time. There's no real muscular work going on. Everything is balanced. It's a lockout. We want to be right before that happens, but flexing the chest. So it's take a little mind over matter to make sure that that's happening. Now we come back down for 8. Into that nice wide chest press. Back up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex. We're not pushing the shoulders out, and we're not locking the elbows. Take it back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's good. Okay. So, Kinsey?
Yes?
Yes. How did you feel about that workout?
It's tiring.
Okay. It's challenging even for an athletic person. So take your time and just move through the progression of the order of the exercises that are on there, because we start out with core, we go chest, back, shoulders, and then arm, and that can be tricep or bicep, and then the second round, and then we do tricep or bicep. The way that you would boost these exercises is listed in your Habits of Health, and your Element 18 is also going to be in the presentation that will follow this. But there's so many different ways you can get into different rep counts. You can get into, at the end of each one of these, you would have a 20-second rest before you go into the next one. We do 5 repetitions of one exercise, then move to the next exercise after 20 seconds, and we do that, and we do 2 rotations. Now, to make it more challenging, you would do 3 rotations or 4 rotations or 5 rotations, right? Instead of doing 5 reps, you might take it up to 8 or 10 reps or 12 to 15 reps. And then eventually we'll get into tempo changes. So it might look like a 2-1-2 count or a 1-1-1 count. There's so many different ways that you can mix up your routine so that you never reach a plateau. So, good work.